Shall we get started?
Sure.
Okay. Call to order at 7:07. And let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag. Oh,
Make use of our flag.
okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks everybody for attending. I appreciate it.
Well, I decided that I better attend because it's really depressing when nobody comes to your meeting.
It is. And over the years, thinking about it, I was just thinking about the community center, how this used to be the community center, and they gave it to us because they ran out of members. Barbara Miller's group, just no activity.
We used to belong to 5 dance groups that each put on 4 formal dinner dances a year, and there's one left.
You think they would all just get together and join teams?
Well, there were a number of people that belonged to all of them, like my husband and me, and there are probably only about 20 dancing couples left, and no new people are joining.
Or getting into it. Well, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. My name is Pete Seeley. I'm the president of the Historical Society, amongst other organizations and things, but I love the history, and I took over helping here because I really wanted to see this organization go forward into the future for the next generations. And every day I get people coming up to me saying, what was at this location? What was at this corner? And people are interested in history. They're curious about it, but not enough to become involved and to try to preserve it. So hopefully that can change in the future.
Scott Wilson.
Alan Nichols.
I'm Curtis McCoy. I'm president of the Newcastle chapter of the Archaeological Society of Delaware.
The what?
Archaeological Society of Delaware.
Oh,
So
how
I
interesting.
run meetings at the Lamborn Library every month, and I'm trying to make my rounds to the different historical societies as well to try and see what kind of combined involvement we can have, because, like you said, we're seeing dwindling member participation and things, and if we can team up with other historical societies in the region, I think that's great for all of us.
Absolutely.
Well, I didn't know there was an archaeological society for Newcastle County. Is it just Newcastle County?
So we have one for each county, and a society overall, but we do kind of different events in each county. A lot of times it's just talks once a month for the year. And we have an annual meeting that changes locations every year. It's usually held at a state park. It's been at Killings Pond in the past. This year it was in Old Newcastle, at the Armory. Not sure where it'll be next year, but yeah.
Awesome.
So
Thanks for joining.
I belong to the American Archaeological Society and the Biblical Archaeological Society.
You do things. Our society does not as much anymore, but we do try, and one of our missions is to report on digs that do happen in and around Delaware. That's usually our monthly speakers, are people talking about the different digs that they've worked on. So,
Awesome.
You report things that DelDOT accidentally dragged out.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
When they can't hide it.
Yeah.
When if they can bury it before you find out.
They have to call us. Yeah.
I'm Roy from Municipality. I lived in the Newcastle area for over 50 years. I lived close to deep in the same area, same development. I moved from Massachusetts. I lived there for about 22 years. Here for more than half a century. But I'm from India, by the way. And I'm deeply interested in these archaeological societies and historical societies and things like that. You learn so much about it. My father was a big, he's never been visited the USA, but he passed away. He was a big archaeologist. He's a lawyer. But my involvement, I've been involved in the community a bit, so, and I'm trying to help out, and now my latest mission is to find out how we can influence the state to subsidize senior living and senior home care. Because there's no such subsidies from the state. And many of us won't qualify for Medicaid or anything, and it's very expensive for home care, as you know. So we're trying to figure out how, and well, elections are coming up, and I'm not going to try to grant them, who's replacing Janet Patrick. And I was talking to them, trying to do something for that. But my involvement with the Historical Society was, I came to one of the meetings, and I donated some money to here, and I wanted to get more deeply involved and find out, how I can help. And and I'll find out more, I guess, as we go along. But and I know I have a question for Pete later on, but about some repair projects at the other place there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know what the status stands, but if we can help raise some money or something,
Okay.
we'll talk about that.
That gets back to, we have three buildings to use. So they're underutilized all the time. So, and that'll come up later in the meeting too.
3 buildings?
Yep. This one, the museum, and Tweed's Tavern itself, the old building.
Okay.
Yep.
I consider the museum and Tweed's Tavern sort of one.
I get this name and Tweed's mixed up all the time. Okay, and Trish, you're here.
Oh,
You can introduce yourself.
okay, I'm Trish Cavender. I have been on the GATA board since dirt, and, and I generally get involved in just about anything that comes down the pub. I'm the patron saint of lost causes.
Okay, let's go through this. Motion to adjourn the meeting by 9 p.m.
Oh, absolutely.
Who wants to? Okay.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Trish Allen. All in favor?
Aye.
And then we can always extend it if you guys decide we need to. Sounds like a good idea, though, not to. Motion to approve the February 18th, 2026 and the May 20th, 2026 meeting minutes.
So moved. I trust you.
Okay.
I'm sure you didn't report anything that didn't happen.
I did pretty good this time. Anybody want to second that? Scott, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Sounds good. Passed. So let's see. Attendance. President Pete Seeley, present. Vice President Darlena Moby, absent.
She got a baseball game tonight?
I'm not sure. She didn't tell me.
Oh.
She didn't notify me. But let's see. I'll go through these again. Hang on. So Brian Woodcock is absent. Lyanne Sorensen, absent. Then, let's see. We'll skip through all of these. Amy Zanino, she didn't get in contact with me, so I'll put her down as absent. Usually she contacts me if she's not showing up. Gage contacted me and told me he was not going to be able to come, so I'll put him as excused. Vedic said that he would be coming a little bit later. He has sports, so he's a high school student, and he does is taking pictures for us and then also doing Instagram because I didn't want to start anything else besides Facebook and YouTube. So that's where I drew the limit. And he's like, I'll help, do anything you need. So really smart kid and really, really helpful.
Do you know if he took stuff for the centennial?
He did not, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if he attended. I didn't ask him to. I asked him for Juneteenth only. And yeah.
Do you do that?
I take as many pictures as I can, but
No, did he?
take.
Did he do Juneteenth?
He took pictures of Juneteenth and he posted some of the photos on Instagram. I hate to ask him for too many pictures because he took so many. So whatever he posted up there should be the best. I I haven't checked it really to see if they're good, but Gage keeps on top of that for me to make sure the photos are good looking. So I'll hold off on him. Let's see, the Countryside Garden Club report. The Garden Club continues to keep the plantings around Tweeds well maintained, and all they ask of for us is to turn the water on and off as needed to water the plants, which Darlene coordinates with them. Their work is much appreciated. In return for their work, they ask us to use the building a few times a year for their own meetings and special events. We try our best to accommodate them, but being short on volunteer staff, we can't always commit to their requests. They will be using the Tweeds Museum basement on 9/17/26 from 8 a.m. to noon for an event. So they bring in a bunch of pots and spill dirt all over the floor, but then they clean it all up afterwards. And they have little contests with each other over who can grow the most exotic plant or whatever. They really get into that. They really enjoy it. They're a good group. And they've been doing our plantings since the beginning of Tweeds Taverns being moved. So that gives them a location to be able to do their work, and in return they don't ask anything of us except for the water.
Is that like a garden that they maintain? Or what?
Yeah, so we asked them to install an herb garden. So they have an herb garden there because it goes along with colonial type of food preparation. And then they also did all the other plantings.
Has anybody mentioned anything about the shrubs that are entirely too large and need to be removed?
They came through and cut them back halfway. So one of their husbands, I believe, has a chainsaw, and he cut them back halfway. That isn't a huge issue. Besides providing the plantings for free, they also keep it well irrigated, which means that the building tends to rot. So it's kind of a balancing act there with them, because I can't tell them to get rid of the plantings because they're doing a nice job keeping them maintained. But those bushes should maybe be considered for. I hear you there.
You get rid of them?
Some of them are just huge. They're up so close to the building that they're holding the moisture in and causing the building to deteriorate.
You can't get foundation plantings to last more than 20 years. They get too big. Mine are 40 years, but I go in and I judiciously prune them severely.
And that's what they kind of did recently, was hack them back somewhat, but they should really be cut back more.
Well, when
I
the
agree.
trunks get this big, you have to take them out.
Yeah, I hear you. So the president's report. We had a slow third quarter. So everything that we're talking about now was between April and the end of June. So this is basically the Juneteenth event. Not much happened over the course of those 3 months. So I have other things to update you on now, like Bill Burris is leaving, which I'm sure you want to know. His sign's been taken down here. This is his last month. He's leaving us here, and I'll get into that on my report. But I'll talk about that when it comes time for it. Let me follow through with this. But things like that wouldn't get brought up if we just stuck to the 3 months. So this isn't going to be strictly just the 3 months. I'll fill you in on those kinds of other things too. We had a slow third quarter. Not much happened besides our Juneteenth program and issues with building repair, which are expected with older buildings. We need to compile a list of needed repairs and prioritize them in order to apply for grant funding. I put much time and effort into properly acclimating new board members to their role. There's much to bring them up to speed on, and I diligently work to explain in detail the organization's part while also realizing they are volunteers and their time to help us, and anything positive that they contribute is a step in the right direction. It is a shame Trish Cavender has stepped down, as she provided logical recommendations and is an excellent decision maker. She made a nice donation to the organization and recently donated a fan for the museum to circulate warm air into the basement in the wintertime. They didn't take that into consideration and put any kind of air circulation in. We had a generous donation of 2 round tables from Kathleen Morrison, who also donated that huge cutter sleigh. She's a member of the Countryside Garden Club, and they're displayed and able to be used in the Tweeds Tavern. So yeah, she also donated the cutter sleigh, which is displayed in the museum. We weren't sure whether we wanted to accept it because it's massive. It takes up a lot of space, but it goes along with the transportation. It's a Del Dot facility, so kind of the trains and the sleighs were kind of early transportation, so it fit in with the theme. Below is from our last meeting. I don't know if we need to go over this. You guys were here. I'll do it quickly. We need a new treasurer if anybody is interested. Mostly because we need a second signer on the checking accounts. We have very little activity, so it's a matter of just plugging the numbers into a spreadsheet and then checking that with the statements every month. It takes me about 5 minutes. That also rolls into being able to invest in other accounts. I don't know if we have enough money to be doing that, but setting up, this is important, setting up online membership payments, which involves setting up a third checking account, which is what we were recommended to do to not have all of the PayPal activity going through one of our other checking accounts. Whether that makes sense or not, it's still a lot of work. Now with the banks the way they are, they're really, really picky about everything. So we had to get approval at a meeting just to be able to open up a third account. We got that approval, then our treasurer stepped back. So we don't have that second signer on the account. Building use, should we rent? Now this is all new. Should we rent our building here? Meeting room requests for regular frequent use. A lot of nonprofits rent out the building space. It's still a matter of more work on us as volunteers. We rely mostly on grant funding to maintain our buildings and provide free educational programs for the community to educate them on our local history. Our mission is to preserve, protect, and share the historically significant local artifacts and buildings for future generations and educate the community about their significance. Because of this, we are in desperate need of a grant writer. And a reminder again, volunteer time is to be used respectively, but that's just a personal issue with people that I deal with. But you know, we're all volunteers, so you know, when you're asked to do something, you shouldn't be dragged on with a whole bunch of drama and other stuff, which usually doesn't happen. Vice President's report. Oh, anybody have any questions? Some of that we'll talk about again, but the tenant leaving here, of course, is going into new business. Vice President's report, none provided. Treasurer's report. The financial reports are available by request and submitted annually to our accountant for the preparation of the IRS 990 forms required for our 501c3 status. On to page 3. All financial transactions match our account statements exactly and are recorded in the Excel spreadsheets. Our fiscal year is from quarter 4 to quarter 3, which makes things extremely confusing. So this is our third quarter meeting, even though we're only halfway through the summer. And by the time we have our next meeting, I'll be done all the paperwork and have submitted that already for the year. So it'll be a summary of what we've done. This meeting isn't to really prepare for anything that's happening right now. That all has to be done at other meetings. So there's our account balances. So our ending balance on Tweeds, $56,019.18. The Lamborn account, $86,910.14. Our membership coordinator, Amy, continues to keep track of the membership list and email members as requested. Thanks, Amy, for what she does. She has issues signing onto the network connections email, and the president is working on helping with a solution. I just got that done. So it was a matter of her not signing on from her personal computer account. She had to sign in from the network solutions program online. So that was the only issue. It was kind of a security thing that Network Solutions had. So it took me 6 months to figure that out. But it finally clicked because I was like, other organizations, I have to do it online, and maybe that's her issue. But I kept telling her to call the customer service, and she's like, they want to get access to my computer. And I'm like, don't let them do that. I'll try to work through it myself. But it's just a networking thing with computer systems and having multiple people having access to the same internet. That's why I like paying all the bills by mail still. They come in the post office box and I write a check. So I don't want to have that digitalized at all.
A man after my own heart.
And
I
then
tell them everything.
you
As an old computer programmer, I put my faith in paper.
Same here. So program coordinator report, that's Gage. He stepped up. He's a younger guy. He stepped up and did our Juneteenth program this year. So the Juneteenth program was a success. Gage did a great job with all aspects of arranging the annual Juneteenth program. This year, he incorporated yard signs, which drew a crowd from outside of our regular membership. a note on the side. We got a letter from DelDOT, a love letter. He went and stuck some of the signs up in the center of the median on the 41-48 split. DelDOT was not happy. So they said, if you do that again, you get a $25 fine. And I was thinking, it might be worth a $25 fine for all the new people that show up. So I told him about that. He felt really bad. And he's like, oh, sorry. He's like, I'll pay the fine. And I'm like, no. I'm like, dude, the fact that you thought of doing yard signs for the program was awesome.
What kind of, this was for the Juneteenth?
For the Juneteenth program, he had 10 yard signs made up and went all around Hockessin and stuck them in corners of properties.
Just for future reference, there's a bulletin board in the hardware store in Lantana that you can put things on, and there's a bulletin board in the Hockessin Village Barber Shop that people put things on. And I'm not sure, but there may be other I don't frequent a whole lot of places, but if you have, and the library has a thing that you can put. So if you make little ones, you can put them in.
We put a whole bunch of flyers there. Here's our Juneteenth handout. Let's see. Yeah, we put a whole bunch of these around. So these go around town. I think one of these was at the hardware store. So yeah. They get distributed.
Yeah.
But
the Gage ones was much bigger.
Gage had huge yard signs like the politicians put up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And they stick them everywhere. So do they pay $25?
Oh.
Well, I think that probably the management of Lantana Square wouldn't be opposed to having one put.
Oh, on their informational display.
In their grassy area, and probably the people in the where Doc's Meat Market is.
So
they probably wouldn't mind having one put in there, and the people across the street probably wouldn't mind. So you don't have to harass DelDOT.
Yep. So he did a good job. He put them in the most visible areas. I was expecting them on bridge overhangs or something else too, but yeah, that was Gage's job.
But private property, he can
put
As
right.
long as you get approval.
Yep. So
and you could possibly get somebody other than Gage to get the approval, so that all he has to do is put the sign.
sure.
So
$25 is cheap. We got like almost $200 in cash donations.
Yeah. Well, so it offsets it. Yep. Not bad.
So it's worth it.
yeah, but if they take the sign away right away, then you've lost the sign and the 25.
You can go to DelDOT and actually get it back from their yard. The guests and our elected officials enjoy the program. Our vice president took the sign-in sheets home and lost them, so we don't have the contact information for the guests at this program right now. I don't know why she took them home, but I asked her for them, and her car's in the shop. There's an excuse for it every time. Thank you to Gage for setting up the Juneteenth program. Other future programs to be discussed. Gage is not here, so he's not going to be discussing it, but he's working on a tavern game night of actually opening up the tavern and having historic style games. We can even probably get away with serving alcoholic beverages there. We've done that in the past. That gets a little tricky, but that can be a family event. That can be an older person's event.
How are you planning to promote this game night?
That's going to be Gage's program to set up. So with our social media, and then whatever goes from there. But the issue with having events is when we start having them, if you have them on a regular basis, then people know about it. That provides something. Right now, we're not doing anything except for Juneteenth. So that'll come with having programs. The other thing he wants to do is actually open up the tavern one day a week. He said he would be willing to sit there at the tavern. To be getting grant funding for museums, we have to be open for 3 days a week, I believe, for only a few hours a day. So that could be Friday, Saturday, Sunday for like 4 hours. We could even coordinate that with a maintenance type of thing, where maybe every Friday morning we go over from 8 to noon to paint the building or something, or clean up the building. So then just clean, and then if anybody shows up, the museum's open. So that would qualify. Social media. So this is Vedic. Vedic has some interesting ideas for the Instagram, social media type stuff. Many thanks to him for his help as a youth volunteer for our organization. He took many photos at the Juneteenth event and any other events that I ask him to. He comes if he's available, and he has professional photography equipment, so it looks really nice when he's there. It's an asset to our organization, and having somebody take photos and sharing the events on our social media is definitely a plus for us. Many thanks to him. So I don't know if this is something for actually voting or not. One of the friends of the Garden Club agreed to volunteer to replace the steps over at Tweeds for free if we pay for the materials. I don't know what we can do as far as volunteers before it gets to be a liability issue with people using power equipment and things where they might cut off their hand versus just painting the building. So it would save us a lot of money. Things like tree work, we always confirm that tree companies have their insurance because there's horror stories where you lose an organization for messing around with that kind of stuff. So to save a few pennies and say, oh yeah, we can do that with volunteer work, if somebody else gets hurt while the stairs are not there, if he gets injured, it's not a friendly thing when he has a medical bill. So if he has a $300,000 medical bill because we said, yeah, it's really nice of you to do that, I don't know if it's worth it. So I don't know if that's something to vote for or something to consider.
You're saying that somebody is paying for the materials?
Just the-
No, he paid for the materials.
We pay for the materials and they'll do the labor for free. They'll actually fix the steps as a volunteer. This is a friend of the Garden Club. It's a handyman who just said that he'd be willing to do it. I don't even know his name.
I
Two
have a
things.
question.
Okay. Two things. If I can get in. Okay. If he's a handy, does he have an insurance?
No,
Okay.
he is not an insured contractor.
Contractor, I mean, if he was, that was different, right?
And
Yeah, okay, cool. Then.
and what would he be using for a plan?
Right, maybe what's there existing, and just replace it as it is existing.
Just restore it as is.
Yeah.
You mean like changing plans?
Well, I looked up,
Because I think Pete would tell him we're not changing plans.
yeah, that
We got into that already. Finding the white oak was extremely expensive. Redoing it with the old nails is a possibility, but we were having a hard time finding contractors who can work with the white oak and who are willing to do it. And the estimates were like 4 times as much. So it's like
and getting the white oak because it's such a small run. If you don't have a big run of material, the sawmill companies won't cut it.
I don't know.
So when they build a traditional, it's very thin material. It was white oak, so it's really hard. But as soon as it starts to rot, it doesn't have much strength. And then Trish was saying, like, it's not really designed like modern steps are. It was designed to look really fancy.
The only steps that I could find in any of my old architecture books that looked like that were something that went up to essentially a feed storage building. And it's a variation on a ladder rather than
Yeah,
actually steps.
yeah.
And I think that if you have a problem with the steps, the best idea would be to eliminate the steps and not have any steps in front of the building.
That's an option also, to just put up a railing. And that's also a temporary option also. Roy?
Yeah, I was gonna say, there was that guy who came and I sent somebody to look at it.
Yeah.
And I think he submitted an estimate.
What was his name? Yeah, that's the problem is that we got estimates like 6 months ago, and Darlene was getting some. She said she was having a hard time doing it. I got 3 others, but they're all $1,500 or so, at least I believe.
That's including materials and labor?
Yeah, but it's really not that much. It's like 3 boards worth of material. It's basically the labor involved for a day.
Plus the side rails.
Plus either reusing what's there or adding a few boards on. I mean, the boards, the materials, maybe $100, $200. I don't even know what,
The materials are probably going to cost you at the very least, $900 to $1,100.
for those steps, if
For
you do
those-
white oak.
If you're doing anything, you haven't priced material lately.
That's the problem too.
And Pete, the other thing is the porch also needs.
There are a few boards on the porch also.
Yeah, the
Yep.
porch also needs to do with that.
So one issue we have is the building hasn't had any maintenance done to it in the 20 years since it's been installed. And the one thing that we could have done to prevent it, same thing with the porch on the museum, is to put a coating of, oil-based stain of some kind. But that's a volunteer project
But
now.
there's wood preservative, clear wood preservative.
Right, that we should be putting on.
Do we have insurance, any kind of insurance in the
That was my next question.
library?
All three of these buildings are insured, so we're paying a lot for insurance. Yep.
If you do, then you can get a liability part of it to cover whoever's working there. So even if the guy doesn't have insurance, your liability insurance will cover that.
Okay.
I
It
think so.
may.
You can ask Bill. You can ask Bill.
I know the Archaeological Society, we have, I think it's a $500,000 liability insurance, and that's in case at any dig or any event that happens, if someone gets injured, we have that are covered. And we've also always said if something like that were to happen,
As
we
long as
end
the-
up paying out using the liability insurance, probably then dissolve the society, and then a year later restart it under a new name, essentially.
It doesn't cost much actually, the liability
Yeah.
part of it doesn't cost. You have regular insurance on, just to add liability, not too much. I
Yeah,
think we should
it's
really
like
consider
if
that.
you've already got insurance on the building,
can ask Bill
liability
about that.
insurance isn't that much.
Yes,
Okay.
well, the problem is that if you file a claim, you might not have any insurance anymore.
Yeah,
I'll volunteer to help the volunteer.
Your
Okay.
premiums may go up,
but you can't deny your
Yeah.
anything.
I'll sign the
If-
disclaimer about injuries.
Okay. There's an idea. Have a disclaimer. Sign a disclaimer. So Scott, you're willing to help out
Yeah.
that person. That was my next question. Do we have volunteers willing to help? Okay. Do we want to make this into a motion, or should this not be a motion?
Well, the
That's-
problem
that's
is,
fair enough.
if you use something other than white oak, the design of the steps is set, that the supports are set far apart, and pine isn't gonna cut it.
So we need more
So
stringers underneath
You're gonna
there.
need a couple more stringers.
Yeah.
When was that, when that was put together,
Yeah.
was that known to be the way it was? Or was that just somebody's idea of
Del
how
Don-
you put it together?
Del Don
Someone's
did
idea.
it.
There was a lot of grant funding that was there. There was a lot of money, and they were trying to make it look historic. So the tavern probably never had a front porch on it with two little steps. It was all dirt, and there were cows and things and horses around the front. So they got the funding, and now they have historic nails on it, which are still made. Tremont Nail Company makes them. They're expensive, but you can get historic looking nails. Not a big deal. But
No tavern worth its name ever had a porch on the front.
Yeah.
They were flat against the road.
right. So that was to make it look better from the street, I think, if anything. But it does protect the front of the building a little bit on the first floor.
So my next
Yeah.
leading was, does it have to be replaced the way it is? Because if it's not truly historic, but it's somebody's that's what they just did.
Correct. I don't think we need to get any kind of permission or anything. And then since the building was moved, it has a historic marker there, but it's not. It's recognized partially, as being historic. But as soon as you move a building, it's no longer able to be put on the historic register, I believe. So it's yeah.
But you said, then is it the white oak is only being done because it was thought to be historic from there? Could you use a different material is the point, and
Yeah.
a different design?
Masonry.
If it's the case not part of the historic part, we're saying the historic part is the building, right? And this is just, entrance.
Exactly. So, and I think we could get away with saying, if anybody was to complain, to say that that's our temporary fix. We're working on getting white oak. The next white oak tree that they cut down on the property, will have somebody come in and historically saw it up or something.
As long as it was safe, the steps you put in. I mean, that's the point. You said if you,
But the door doesn't open in the front.
It does from the inside.
I mean, only from the inside,
Yeah.
so you can't get in from the
You
outside.
can't get in there from the outside.
I would think from my experience, unless you guys are getting historic tax credits or anything like that for the property, you don't have to keep it necessarily in kind if it's not original to the building.
Gotcha.
So,
And another twist on it is it's Del Dot's property. So we have a like 99-year lease with them. They don't want anything to do with maintaining it. So the more we do to keep it maintained properly, that's what they like.
Why can't we ask Dildot if they'd be willing to put a masonry step there?
Ask Del Dot.
If they'd be willing to put a masonry step there.
I can
What,
check
you
out
want a masonry step?
I don't know if it'll go with
the wood for it.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, you can, I'm gonna wait.
I'm gonna say, what's your best estimate? How much it will cost? I mean,
So he's just saying that let's get together an estimate on what the boards cost. It's seriously like 3 or 4 boards.
Yeah, I could go up to Delaware County because they deal in a lot of things like that. Because I had to do some restoration on my house, and I went to them because they do the kind of work that other places won't do. And I could go up there and just get if I could measure the boards and all that, or you could send them to me, email them to me, and the thickness and width and length and all that. I could just go up there and ask them because they do cutting from trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said that the estimate that you got from that guy contractor was like two grand or something?
1,500.
1,500.
They start out with
That includes the
$1,000
wood
and then
and
they add what it's
that
gonna
includes the
cost.
That includes the material.
Can you pass them down?
and- It includes the material and the.
Yeah. If you look at the back couple pages, I think the last few, and I had a few more that came in, were professional companies who actually did it. One company is a painting company, and a few are just numbers on paper with no real estimate.
Total
So-
project cost 2,050 to 3,650. That's white oak.
That's why I do.
Yeah, white oak.
And then a lot of those companies, I was asking them to give me an estimate on just pressure treated after they gave me that. And it came down to like 1,500. The white oak was the thing holding them up.
Well, that
'Cause they
doesn't-
couldn't get it.
If it's not historic, then it doesn't.
Then it doesn't
can we
matter.
Just replace it.
Sure.
do
I got you.
Safe.
Okay.
Safe steps.
Let's look into that. Let's get on a email together and discuss that. So we won't make a motion on that tonight.
Can I just say this, so that we
You can say anything you want.
make this meeting a little bit more productive?
Sure.
That is, I'm still thinking on the fact what Pete said is that we can get the material costs, paid for, then we can get somebody to do labor and we get a liability.
No,
Okay.
no, the opposite.
Non-disclosed.
That was the opposite. We have to provide materials.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we can get the materials paid for, and he can get the labor, and as far as the insurance goes, if he can get a non-liability waiver or whatever, then let's get this project going.
Okay.
I'll get the money for the materials. I'll get some. I'll raise some money from wherever.
You want to see what the steps look like? Scott?
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, I haven't seen the condition, but I think I've seen
Oh,
it.
be careful. You just.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
It would
Yep.
not.
And I'll look into the liability part of it.
Library part?
Sure.
I'll look into the financing material.
Okay.
Okay, and you get the labor, whoever.
And we have a few people willing to help. So
Just send me the dimensions of everything, thickness, width, length.
Okay.
And I'll go to Delaware County and ask them.
Okay.
Get it.
the other thing is it's right in the park. It's open to anybody anytime.
Oh,
But you can just walk right on over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, just don't walk on the
Are
steps.
the boards obvious to me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's got caution chains and everything there.
Yeah,
It stands out like a sore thumb.
Okay.
Just don't try climbing the steps.
We do like hand-drop nails and things. I know Ogden Hardware up in Chichester, they've got bags and bags of all.
Okay.
So they're a good historic nail replacement.
And I think if we're going to do it with pressure treated, we'll probably use screws instead. I mean, so it holds together. But I think Tremont Nail Company is the big one that's up in New England that still does it. They saved some of the old machinery and just make old historic nails. What a job! What a company. They probably.
This is August 10, almost, coming up to the end of August.
Yep.
Do you think we can get this done by Thanksgiving?
I hope so as soon as possible. Yeah, I'll look into this. We'll get this. I'll talk again to Trish's. I'm sorry, to Pat Boyd is the garden club member who said she has a volunteer that she knows. So I'll get in touch with her and see.
I'd be wary of some of these handyman volunteers. I had one that insisted that he could do my roof, and it only took him 3 weeks, and he left it uncovered and it rained on my laundry room and garage and
He was a volunteer on your roof
no,
for free?
no,
Oh,
handyman,
oh, handy.
Yeah. So even if you pay somebody, you never know what you're getting.
right.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on. We'll get an email together with all that. We're up to unfinished business, I guess. Repairs to the tweed steps. So we already discussed that. New business. This is pretty important. This is important stuff. The second floor air conditioning unit here failed on July 3rd. I rarely take a vacation, and I happened to be helping out Red Cross down in southern Delaware. I didn't have any phone with me or anything, so I don't have my vehicle with me. So I have all these nasty emails and phone calls and text messages. Where was I? The air conditioner broke. So it was one of the hottest days and right before the holiday. So I spent my holiday and the 2 weeks after that getting estimates for air conditioning units. So I got 5 estimates. We replaced the unit here. That never came up with anybody I didn't have any help doing it. So I just kind of took that on as my own job. Since all the ductwork was already up there, they replaced the unit itself that was under the ductwork and the outdoor condenser unit. But that had been failing for a while. And then the service people actually put the wrong part in at one point in time, and that's probably why it didn't last as long. But a 20-year-old system. So every time they come out to do any service work, they say, this isn't going to last another year. So we made it last.
They made sure.
We made it last as long as we could.
No, they made
They
sure.
made sure
it
by
wasn't
putting in the
gonna
wrong
last
parts.
another year.
So however that happens, so that got done. So now the air conditioning unit is guaranteed for 10 years. Whether it lasts that long, it probably has a microchip in there to make it fail after.
I'm pretty sure they do.
My car, if I want, I said, what's wrong with this? He said, some microchip there. I said, what?
Yeah, so I'll get a Wi-Fi notice from it. But so we have a 10-year guarantee on that. We'll have a service plan on that through the company that installed it. We went with Burns and McBride, great family place. They gave me one of the better estimates, and they were better service oriented than the other companies. We'll probably still go with DDM for our other air conditioning unit and the heater because we have a pretty good heating oil price with them. Another issue this year, that's not going to come up, but heating oil is going to be through the roof. So now that we don't have a tenant here, that's not quite as much of an issue. So we will be cranking that heat way back. But in past years with the drafty windows, his employees had to be very comfortable so that they could come in very light clothing in the wintertime and be comfortable. So they had that heating cranked up all the way. We're paying for it. Same thing with the air conditioning. The electric bills, the oil bills are through the roof. They don't care at all. They don't see those bills. I never told Bill, hey, could you cut back on that? He would say, I was promised new windows. The windows are drafty. So we had to deal with that. We are basically breaking even on the rent over the past couple months. When the contract was originally done with Joe Lake, maybe 10 years ago at this point, we were making okay money as a nonprofit. We weren't raking in the dough, but Bill's been good paying his bills. But as time goes on, those utility rates all kept going up and his rent stayed the same. So he wanted me to lock in a contract with him for 5 years with us paying the utilities again. He gave us a 22-page contract. I had to send it to Trish and Darlene, and I said, can you guys look this over? Trish said, this isn't what I signed up for as a volunteer for your organization. So,
well, I also looked over the contract, and I said that most of it was in his favor.
Everything's in his favor.
It's always there.
So everything was in his favor again, and so I am actually thankful that we won't have to deal with that anymore.
So did he quit because you wouldn't sign the contract?
So there were a few things there. He wanted to be able to guarantee a location for 5 years. He wanted to lock something in. We were going month to month with him. We weren't in any position to kick him out. His initial 5-year lease kind of ran out. And because we wouldn't sign it again, I refused to sign it. He was going month to month. So he could have left at any time. We could have kicked him out at any time. But there was no clause in there of any penalty. So it didn't work in our favor either way to do anything. So the best thing to do was to not sign that lease agreement, let him go as is. He was paying his rent. He's kind of keeping the building maintained just by being here. He's providing security. So breaking even might not be that bad. Not the best thing. But so we have something to look forward to in the future now with finding a new tenant, what to do with the building, and that'll all be starting next month. But what I plan on doing is just shutting everything down, getting the temperature under control, contacting our insurance, telling them that we no longer have a tenant, see what the rate difference is there. We already have one person interested in renting out the upstairs. We got a contact through Mike Smith, and they said, hey, we do real estate, and we'd like to use your upper building. So could we do that? And so now we have to go through another contract. But the other reason he wasn't as hot with the second floor was he has a lot of handicapped accessibility of being up on a second floor. So he claimed that he wasn't using the first floor, but we needed to provide the space for him all the time in case he had a handicapped person come in. So we were not able to use this building at all. And he's saying, well, I'm only using half the building. Well, his employees are using the bathroom down here, and he has access to the whole building the whole time. So he's getting a first floor location without the hassles, without the air conditioning and the heating problems, and he's just moving right up the street. So he'll have a first floor location, probably the size of this room, where he can see all of his employees, and it's a clean new building maybe. And so he's locking in his 5 years. He's getting a first floor location, and he plans way ahead and likes to have his numbers all locked down. So that's something that we just had to deal with, and it was such a headache to have to pay his utility bills month after month, and I'm writing a check, and my head's spinning, and I can't come over here and say, hey, you have the air conditioning on, and you guys aren't here all weekend. It's Saturday, and it's 70 degrees out, and the air conditioning's running. I come over here to check up on the building, and it's like, it's just obnoxious.
Just let you know, Pete, I just found out this, that Delaware offers an energy rebate. You have to do an audit, just for everybody. And I did that. I went to and it's called Delaware Energy Rebate Program or something like that. And they came and did an audit on my house. They gave me a rebate right away. They do a lot of stuff, and I really, everybody should use that. And they do the audit, and they'll provide a report, and they connect you whoever your contractor is, whether it's McBride or I went with Michaels in Newcastle, and I got like almost 25% off.
Off your energy bill monthly?
No, I mean the installation.
Yeah.
So-
So, oh yeah, right, yeah, Energize
For-
Delaware.
Energize
Yeah,
Delaware.
through Denrec, yeah.
Yeah, we did that for our home.
That actually,
Yeah.
actually ended on September 30th of last
Is it?
year. Yeah.
Oh, did it?
I don't know if most of the money was federal, was from
So why not
the
take
federal
advantage?
program. But that actually got pulled back.
When they, yeah.
But that all ended. So I thought you made your monthly energy bill. You were gonna.
Oh. And so there were things like, we can't replace these windows. They have to look this way. And
You have storm windows on there, right?
they're historic windows,
You have storm windows.
Oh, there's storm windows also. Yes, there are storm windows. So that's another thing. They weren't shutting the screens to.
Well, your historic windows don't look any different than my Marvin fiberglass original
Oh,
construction
don't even get
windows.
started there. I don't need another project.
No, I'm just telling you, if you come over to my house and look at my windows, they're the same color.
You're not suggesting replacing these windows.
No, they don't need.
Well,
She'll pay for it.
no.
You've got 2,000 apiece. I can tell you right now.
Okay, so so we got the air conditioning done.
What, I'm just curious, what brand did you get?
Now I should know this, shouldn't I?
Is it a residential type, like a Train or a Lennox?
Yeah, it's one of the name brands for sure.
Well, there's Lennox and there's Tree.
There's only like two.
No, it's good window.
There's several.
There's seven.
Well, the two biggies are Lennox and Train.
Lennox Train, Goodyear is the cheapest.
I think it's a Train. We can go walk out there and see what the label is on
Sorry,
the
I was
device.
just curious.
Yeah,
I went with Train.
but there was one brand that they said they have to replace the parts with the manufacturer only recommends one kind of part.
Yeah, I think McBride goes with just Lennox.
Lennox. Okay. Okay.
They all have their troubles at times.
Yeah, it was hard. It was.
They're manufacturers, they all have their troubles
Oh.
at different times.
You
And-
put a unit quick. June 28th last year.
And
I didn't have it installed till September 29th. Because I had to bring in like 8 different contractors, and I was getting things all over the place as far as rates.
We got all of our estimates were pretty close together. But now they're getting into the Freon stuff, and they're like, we can't replace that because it's got the old Freon, and it's like, so I had them try to top off the Freon, and they're like, I don't know if we can because it's the old, and I'm like, you guys are driving me nuts. So we had the donations of the 2 tables by Kathleen Morrison. I took a nice picture of her too. I don't know if she wants her picture or this information really like publicly known. So. Donation of the fan by Trish Cavender for Tweeds Museum to help circulate the warm air into the basement in the winter. And on to page 5, Tweeds repairs. Is that what I have here? I got a staple right in the top corner. Tweeds repairs, as listed on the contract with 18th Century Restoration, are complete. This was repairs to the chinking and whitewash coating on 2 sides of the tavern. The bill was paid for the total due. Thanks to Barbara Seeley for taking the time to write the grant, which provided the funding for this much-needed work. Trish Cavender stepped down as board member. We thanked her for her work as volunteer and the thought she put into the decision-making for the benefit of the organization. Much thanks, Trish. And thanks for your continued knowledge.
You're welcome.
And humor. We need that too sometimes.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't need any more stress
I
in
hear
my
you.
life right now.
So Bill Burris, we went over this already. Bill Burris will no longer be our tenant. I'll skip over that. The turf fields at Tweeds Park are done. So the parking is back to normal, which means we still have no guaranteed parking. As the park is open to the public and there's events scheduled there all the time, and we don't know when they're having soccer events. So when we schedule something 2 and 3 months out, we're not guaranteeing parking. The last event that the Garden Club had, they had issues because they were repaving the entire parking lot, and they didn't even give the members at the Hack Center notice. So they came in, and the whole street was all closed, and everybody had to park at Acme. So that's also an option. I mean, there's parking, but it might be a hike to get there. So. Members are tiring of the Juneteenth program and feel we should have other programs on other topics of our local history. We've done only this program year after year, and it's time to focus on other topics. The use of strong cleaners has been brought up at each meeting for the year. I don't know if you remember the last meeting over there at the museum, but it was like hard to breathe. It's Pine Sol. So after each meeting, I discussed it with that people have allergies to the strong chemicals, and we try to keep correcting the issue, but it keeps happening for some reason.
Who's using Pine Sol? It's nothing but a pine-scented soap.
Yeah, and they use a lot of it, and it's just overwhelming. But we had 2 events here where they just couldn't breathe, and they had to open up the windows. They asked not to use it because they were allergic to it, and then Bill Burris was even complaining. And yeah.
When you say they did, who was
the cleaning people.
There's a company?
No, I just don't want to say the name
okay.
on record.
Okay.
I'm trying to be really friendly.
Okay.
Is it a commercial?
Cleaner, a commercial, Pine Sol.
No.
The person doing it is one of our members.
Yeah.
All right. How about we buy some non-scented cleaner and take the Pine Sol and make it disappear?
The Pine Sol did disappear. Getting the other cleaner and then having them use that is an issue. We'll try that. We'll try that for the future. So members brought up the idea of raising the membership dues at the last meeting. That was kind of a continual thing.
I thought we.
Yeah, for now, but it's something that always gets brought up because people are like, "What's $15?" And I say, "Well, what are we doing for your membership?" So until we're doing events where that $15 means something,
But I thought we killed the idea of raising it last time.
Yeah. It was never a vote or anything, but Fede, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Good.
Hi there. No problem.
We already talked about you.
Oh, good.
We talked about your whole position, so that was all on the agenda. If you could just sign it.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, plenty of extra pounds.
I know, I just threw one up there.
When's the membership dues?
That's another thing that we just don't have worked out. So we don't know whether to do. I guess every year is when we would typically ask. We don't have anything set up digitally yet, so we're asking people to write in a check or pay by cash. Still, nobody wants to do that. Thanks. You can keep the pen for writing notes if you need. So the idea was last year to get that all taken care of, to have everything done with a PayPal, have everything where it would be an email notice to people, having them renew, having automatic renewals and everything. So that was all going to happen, and every single other nonprofit organization has it. So it's not like we can't find. Sure.
Our development had a means of paying with Venmo or something or other, and then because it had to be attached to a particular account, and it happened to be our president's account, and he didn't want to have it coming through his account anymore, so we lost that. So we have to go back to checks, and it's gotten to the point where people are really weird.
A check still accepted? Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we have now is we keep the membership dues at like $15, and then we have a checkbox for donations. And we often have people giving us a larger amount for a donation, which is great. But we don't have anything where we're basically calling people on the phone or sending them a personal email and saying pay your dues. But then it's still relying on them to put a check in the mail and mail it to us. So if people don't show up at a meeting, they're not going to pay. We do have a PayPal account already set up that was set up a long, long time ago. I just need to link it to a bank account. So we have that, and being a nonprofit, we get a really reduced or rate on that for processing.
But Pete, aren't the messages going out to us all us members?
They should be,
I
but
did got last year, right?
I've asked.
I think mine is in a little bit later, so therefore I'm not saying I'm missing anything this year, but I thought you had that set up with the lady who does the list.
Correct. And so we have that all on a membership list. We have a spreadsheet. So I asked her to make a spreadsheet, and she keeps track of. It's on one of my piles here. She keeps track of when everybody paid their dues. So we have it right here. It's a long list, but I was thinking if she's
sending out notices.
Yeah, so if she emails people and says a notice like, "Hey, your dues are up," they're saying, "Well, how do I pay?" And it's like, "Oh, well, it's up to you to write a check," And so they got to go get an envelope. So what I have had
done those for forever, right?
Yeah, Alan, what I've had luck with was actually mailing out a renewal notice and putting in a already
A self-addressed envelope.
Self-addressed envelope with a stamp already on it. So I'm wasting the money on a stamp. So now it's costing $3.
Don't put stamps on.
Stamps and things like that.
But more likely to get that money back.
How many members do we have?
So here's the list. So it's a matter of how many are currently paying their dues is one thing, but here's the list.
I was impressed by the number of people who.
So I think at one time we had about 100, but that's considering husband and wife and family. So taking that all into account, there were a lot.
Yeah.
But the way to increase that is just to go digital. And I've had other people come up to me, even family members, that said, "Yeah, what's the PayPal?" And I'm like, "You got to write a check." And they're like, "What?" And nobody carries cash around. So they're like, "Yeah, I'm more than happy to be a member, but it's not happening with me writing a check to you." So yeah, that was supposed to just all be done at one time, and it would be such a relief just to have that set up. I didn't want to stress Amy with having to send an email and look on the list for every month that members are due. So I think she was just asking at the beginning of the year, reminding people, if you haven't paid your dues, to pay up. Yeah.
So you're thinking, for example, I will not get an email saying, it's renewal time.
I'll tell her.
Because if you got 100 now, you might. If you're not doing that, you might lose a whole whole load of people.
Why not have the annual dues just due annually rather than do,
It is, and
this person
That's-
is due in April, this
Sure.
person due is due in
Sure.
May, and
Yeah, it's much better that way, but I don't
Yeah.
think it's kind of not historically been that way.
Right. Correct. Correct.
now would this be for 2027?
Your dues?
These dues that we paid?
Yeah. I think you're already paid up. You gave a check fairly recently.
No, I don't think so.
Um,
Maybe I don't think so.
Is he on the
I'll check in with you. You're right up on the front page, I think. But we'll talk.
I'm gonna give one for 27. I don't
Sure,
know.
sure. Yeah, you could write one for 27. That's perfect. Yeah, so I was trying not to burden Amy with having to contact everybody all the time. So she wrote an email to everybody just at the beginning of the year, very generic, saying, pay your yearly dues. So pay your yearly dues by writing us in a check.
Maybe that's when I paid, right? I don't know.
And I did get some response from it. So we do have people that, I'm looking at the post office box and it's like, wow, there's a, a membership due or a new person. But it's, thank you.
I'm getting too old.
So you
to-
get 40%
Might as well
of our
give it now.
members paying at our annual meeting. So that's in June.
It's often word of mouth where we get new members from. And typically even like Juneteenth programs, a lot of people don't sign up there because of the complexity. People don't bring a checkbook. But we got, $150 or something in the donation bin.
We lost all those names.
All those names are in Darlene's hands. Yeah, I asked her to scan them to me and provide them in her car, apparently.
well, Darlene loses things, important things, and then she wants to know if somebody else has them.
Yes.
And this is one of the things that I didn't need stress about.
Did Wilmington Trail Club find a new place?
Yeah, they are over at the PAL Center from what I've been seeing. So
I didn't know you had a need. I would have volunteered to do that.
that was another thing where we just don't get paid anything and it's just work on us. And they would give us like a $50 donation a year.
Okay.
And it's okay. And it's more the community service of providing the space. I like our relationship better with the garden club because they're providing at least the plantings. We open it up for them twice a year. The interesting thing with the trail club, they wanted us to reserve the rooms for them a year in advance. And so now we have locked on our schedule, our personal schedules. I have to be here now. So like something comes up and I want to do something fun. And it's like, I got to be there to unlock the door now, for another club's event. So that got
Were there more than one a year?
so then it was every other month. They actually had two different groups of their trail club coming here. So it was every month for us, but they do every other month meetings. So it was their main meeting and then the kayaking group, I think. But they have 4 different departments. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice thing to do, but I think that fell through because they wouldn't fill out the room usage form. And part of that is then having us accept it. And that means committing to it. So that never happened. So they just went somewhere else. So looking for grants and board member positions to be filled. Announcements. Check out our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, and more important documents like our bylaws are on our website. So I'm trying to I'm debating whether to put our meeting minutes. I don't think I will up for public view. I don't think I will, but they're all being recorded and saved. So that's what's important is that we do our quarterly meetings and have this recorded. Yeah.
You had mentioned about possibly having a program of games.
Yeah.
Darlene mentioned that she was going down to Hale Burns' house. Is that they have games? Well, I went onto their website to find out about these games. There is not one word on their website about any games or anything, and the website that the Hockessin Historical Society has looks pretty empty unless you click on this one little line on the top right corner, and then you get some more stuff. But you got to go looking really hard to get into anything. So communication is key.
Communication is key. Having the programs is nice too. So Hales Burns House did that kind of program, and I think other places do.
But
And-
they have, as far as I can tell, no advertising at all.
They might have more stuff on Facebook. I think they do more on
I
Facebook.
tried Facebook and I tried their website and I couldn't find diddly squat about their games thing.
They do multiple programs, I think, a week. I mean, they're booked up. They're very, very active.
Well, I don't know how they're advertising, but it isn't on Facebook and it's not on their website.
And we're not getting, that comes up to the whole advertising thing. I don't know where, nobody's getting information from anywhere, I guess.
You're saying
I don't
Hale
know.
Burns is open weekly?
Hale Burns House has multiple guest speaker events every week, I believe. They're very active with that.
But there's nothing that an outsider can't find out any information.
Yeah, I've only seen the Christmas event, and they have something else one other time during the year. I know Ralph and his wife, Bernie.
Yeah.
I know them.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that frequency that you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Mhm.
Wow.
So what it must be, you must have to
Must be
be
word of
on
mouth. Right.
their mailing list or their email list.
I think that is the case from, because I know Kim Burdick does a lot of
Yeah.
the programs there, and yeah, I've tried to look for our society, and it's hard to find the information, and it's usually, I think they have an email list that sends out weekly or monthly events and stuff like that.
But if you're gonna have anything, you gotta find some way
Yeah.
to get it that people can access it.
Sure. And the first few events are going to be underattended, I imagine, until you get a schedule.
Right.
So it's oftentimes having that schedule where you're doing a program in the same, once a week, once a month
But
at a certain time.
that's what I mentioned this because you mentioned something about having a game night. Well, if you're gonna have a game night, you're gonna have to have some way for people to know about it and
Sure.
sign up.
Sure. And just making us look active, just having it. So
Yeah.
if nobody shows up and we could take pictures of one person playing a tavern game to post it on our social media so that when we go to get grant funding, same thing with a website. I designed that all from scratch. So all those pull down menus with all that information in there, that's what I set up. And that's just for when we go to get grant funding. They say, what's your website? And so if you don't have a website, they say, what's your organization?
It took
So-
me a long time to figure out how to get something more than the picture of Tweed's Tavern.
I took that picture too. Do you know how long it took to get those clouds in the right position?
But I didn't realize that you had to click on that little thing.
He knows what it's like. Yeah, you try to take the perfect picture and it's like, no, stay there for one more minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks. You have anything to say? Thanks for stopping by. And so I already told them all about you a little bit.
Alright. I definitely this year I think I do want to increase. I've always been saying I'm gonna post these reels, but I think we should it would be fun to have have a nice little Gen Z presence of just a tidbits about Hockessin, right? Like you film a short video and then you post it on the social media sites, and then it's a way to this is people who are on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, they would see I didn't really know that about my own hometown. So I think it's it'd be an easier way to reach out.
The one thing that you had, which was really funny, was how do you say the name Hockessin? And so he was going to go around and interview people and say, hey, where's the name Hockessin come from? And yeah, how do you say this word?
Yeah.
And if you're from outside of here, you get telemarketers calling and they're like, it's Hockessin. And that's the way it used to be. That's the way it used to be pronounced.
My dad pronounced it that way.
Hockessin.
Basketball team, they were doing that.
Well, actually,
And he is 8th generation.
No.
Actually,
1680.
they finally tracked it down, and somebody lied and told people in Europe or somewhere that it was Indian for place of bald men. That went around for a long time, but there was a place where the Quakers met that they called it Occasion,
Yeah. That's the most
and it's
lovely.
a corruption of occasion. And that, somewhere I have a copy of some little pamphlet that had that in there. But,
Well, Joe Lake's book, has part of it.
no, but this
doesn't-
wasn't in Joe Late's book. This
Yeah.
was,
Well, there is addresses that,
okay,
but I think he went for the.
this
didn't
is
he go for
something,
the other one. The other one.
He thought it was the Indian word. Yeah.
Which
it's not
I'm not
Indian.
sure. I always thought you could always have the two together in the fact that they called that place occasion based on. Also, the spelling of that was Occasion, not occasion.
Yep.
Okay, so they could have taken the Indian word and made their own pronunciation. People that settled there. So therefore, the two of them could actually be both play a part.
There's a little pamphlet over in the reserve section of the library that has this little thing in it.
Yeah, it's only somebody's opinion, of course.
Yeah. So Wes Lager tried to track that down, the Indian meaning, and he couldn't do it. So the idea of good bark or whatever, and an Indian word, and this wasn't ever really an Indian town, although they did find a lot of artifacts right across the street here. They apparently had a summer location where the Indians would all come, and apparently they found lots and lots of stuff right across the street, but in the Westridge neighborhood, when they were doing, right between Westridge, all the houses that are in the bottom valley there, between there and Route 41. Yeah. So.
Meeting place.
And then all around here would have been, Native American hunting grounds and stuff for like 30,000 years or a million years. We don't know. So all those years of they're occupying this area.
Probably not more than 12,000 because the Ice Age had this place covered with glaciers.
Okay, so I think we're about done. Future meetings. Fiscal year Q4 on November 18th.
You got 17th here.
Oh, that's for next. That's for. I'm sorry. That's for next year's. That's for 2027.
27. Oh,
So if you look right up above there, that's
all right, the one above it. Okay.
is our last meeting for this year.
November 18th.
Which I did get right on the top of the agenda. So that's also on the top of your agenda also.
Okay.
So let's get this motion done. Any other questions? You good for it tonight? So we're going to look into the steps. We'll work back on those steps. I want to network with you more in the future. I'll give you my card, and my card is actually over on the counter right there too. But I want to get your card too, and we'll keep in touch.
I'm
That
still
way.
going to go forward with getting a dollar amount for the board.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please do.
Tell Gage I can help him out with his whatever he decides to do this fall. If he does decide to do anything,
Okay,
I'll be glad to help him out.
You know what? Let me pass these around too.
The guy who gave you that code, he has his own insurance. Sally Solution.
Okay, yeah, all the companies do. So that's what you're paying for with.
That's it.
Yeah. You're paying for them to do a professional job and then also be covered. So whenever we have companies doing work, they say they're insured. I always look into it. Snow plowing people, any kind of tree work, we look into those things.
The other thing is, by the way, I should mention this. You heard of Jiggies, right? Jiggies?
How do you spell it?
Ziggy. He does restorations of historical buildings in Delaware.
Anybody that does restoration of historical buildings generally charges a lot.
I know, they do, but they do a fantastic job.
Another idea came up from Gage of having a contractor using that as more of their showcase place where they would open it up and do demonstrations of how to do the historic work, where they could be advertising their company and then also doing a little thing like step repair.
Look up his website, Ziggy's, and you'll see that. He's
Hey.
got historical building, he shows that drawing.
Gotcha. Okay, should we close this meeting and then we can talk for a little bit more if you want?
Whatever.
Okay, motion to adjourn the meeting
So
at
moved.
at 8:21 p.m. Trish, Seconded by?
I don't know what time it is. I put my phone away. 8:20. Yeah, 8:21.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
My watch is not exactly reliable. It's an
Hey.
analog. It's an analog. It doesn't tell you. You just have to guess.
Thanks everybody for attending. And Joe Lake would be proud. When Joe was in his final couple of years with the organization before he died, nobody was really interested in stepping up to help out. And they asked me and I was like, no. So Joe died not knowing that who was taking over. And so here we are, keeping the organization going.
Well, I'm here out of duty because no, because it's really depressing when nobody comes to your meetings.
Hey,
Okay, thanks.
absolutely. Thanks for attending. And then you know what? Here we go. I have also sign-up sheets. Did I pass them around?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes. I think that was last time's one.
That was last time's one to add on to.
But I was the only name on it.
That's what I was hoping for, you know. I don't want you to be lonely.
It's good to know I did not cross it off. Okay. I just crossed off the bit that said not July because we were not going to be here in July. Yeah. Okay. Oh. There we are. So is this yours? Yeah.
You know what you
I'm
have?
sorry, I can't hear what.
No, that's very well.
Oh, nice.
Bill,
Yeah, I talk with him all the time, so.
Juneteenth. Where's? Oh yeah, we don't need to answer on the
He's
Juneteenth.
doing his own
Yeah.
independent company.
I thought I had another one, but-
Or,
Yeah, this one's
he's got, South River Consulting now, so.
You don't have to sign this if you're interested in doing physical
John
labor.
Milner
And then I just need a
closed their
date on
cultural
this.
resource division, God, 15 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's been doing independent consulting since then. For anyone that needs work done, but he's the battlefield archaeological. Yeah, archaeological and historical. So,
Okay, so that'll be a family membership.
For
Family $25 family. I'll put it as
He still does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now they technically sold it.
That's for you?
Or gifted it to the state.
For your
But
writer.
he's been.
And all those other
he's
meeting
been
minutes,
involved
too.
in all that. So
The
now
whole
he's
pile
doing
is
a lot
for
of
you.
Red Bank, Battlefield, New Jersey.
Oh, these are
He's
the old
got
meeting
hands
minutes.
everywhere.
That was
You have your
department
comments,
of his
right?
Department for the state was my
I
grandparents'
have a box.
farm grain.
So it's in date order. It's sequential.
At the time, he was the state director.
That's the way I used to have my desk. I used to be able to tell how old things were by how deep they were. My desk is pristine now. I haven't had a desk like that in years.
Yeah, such a hard into that stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I mean, I know, my old company,
But I did learn one thing when I was an elected official. Anytime something came into my
got
presence,
some work at.
I immediately put a date on it, and if I'd read
Thank
it,
you
I
very much.
initialed it.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's
Nice meeting
You
you.
are.
Nice meeting you too.
I'm sorry that we're doing.
And you please let me know, okay, once you get an estimate of
But
that.
can we call you and ask
I'll-
questions if we.
I raise the money for the
Okay.
materials, okay?
Super.
And if you get that guy, the cell solution or whatever, if you still have it, let me know what the full amount is, how much is labor,
Why
how
is
much
So-
is labor, and how much is materials.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
See
because they're
the
trying to
materials and
reconfigure the road
Okay.
there.
All right, let's get
Super.
it done.
Thank you.
Take one thing off your head.
So.
And then we have other projects. Now that we don't have a tenant here, the blacktop needs to get like resealed, and then the lines need to get done. So now there's no rush. We can block it off, and you know, so
When's it
before
moving? End of the month?
end of the month. Yep.
Because I
It's a
have
good
to
buy.
bill, you know, because
Yeah.
I live across the
he handles a
street
lot of the insurance.
Well, he's not leaving. He'll be right up the street.
Where's he going?
He's going on to Yorkland Road.
from Philly, dude.
Actually, the address is right on his sign, right over in the
Road.
vestibule.
We had many conversations.
On Yorkland Road, I believe. But the address is right on his billboard, right in the
told
vestibule.
Barbara, I could quit 30, 40 years ago that the state of Delaware has no interest in historic preservation of anything.
they definitely don't fund it, so.
They don't care. They want history to be like that.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah.
everything is numbered, it's given, it's dated. And when I read it, I initial it. And when you were getting 500 pieces of paper a week, we needed a system.
Yep.
Can I help you clean up here?
I'm pretty good, I think. Yeah,